Hey guys, going to be doing a quick part two. Feeling a lot better. Quick part two to a video I posted the other day about different gear to equip. I'm also going to take the opportunity to update my first video about different explanations to potentials and equipment. So let's get this started off real quick. I'm going to do things based off my four favorite heroes, Chenny, Kai, Serendi, and Bearman. Those are the heroes that I'm using right now for PvP, and I think that they're all completely amazing. We're going to be looking at potentials over gear and the different types. Obviously, this gun is a bow type because it's got the attack and crit rate. This hat is a boot, or a shoe or whatever you want to call it, because it's got dodge. Now, if you have good sets, it's going to obviously influence your position for where you're going to be going with the things you get. But that's all the luck of the draw. Not everybody's going to get good sets, so we got to keep things like this in mind when we're picking our gear. But for the most part, the thing that you're going to be looking for depends almost 100% on the potentials that you're able to get on the pieces of gear you have. In a perfect world, and where we all have tons of modification potions, we can pick the gear that we were aiming for to maximize the stats that we were interested in maximizing, and then we can keep re-rolling the potentials until we have great things. But for example, on my Chenny, I wanted to have all chest pieces, but this third slot set that I have has a last man standing bonus, which has really good synergy with the Ghost Step set and the Gold Tiger set that I have, because I use Chenny to basically solo Dimensional Breakthrough. And I do it basically every single day, and I've never had to have fire abuse ever since I built my Chenny. It's been pretty amazing. But I have this boot that had a ton of defense, really good regen, and really high HP potential. Like when it gets into 5-star gear, these potions don't grow on trees. I haven't changed anything except for like one thing since I finished Tower, so I still do have 9 potions left, but I don't want to waste them on anything stupid, so I've been holding on to them. And I think I'm just going to keep them for a long time. But I equip these boots because I might have less HP and less defense. Now, the defense I can't do anything about, but I'm getting a 10% buff on the defense because I had a really good potential. If I boosted up this chest piece, which I would ideally rather have the chest piece because the defense and the higher HP. Now, shield is the highest HP of the armor pieces, but it gives you counter rate, and I feel it's a waste of the extra defense more than makes up for the HP difference. I feel the best pieces are the chest pieces. I think dodge is really underpowered because it's so easy to stack hit rate. Like if the best players in the game were having like a controlled my characters versus your character instead of a one versus AI kind of like thing, and somebody had a stack dodge strategy on their characters, like with Dominique and a bunch of Ghost Step sets on everybody and whatever like that, the other person could counter it easily by just equipping a lot of swords and rings because it's so much easier to get. There's no soft cap to hit rate, where there is one to dodge. So around 60% it sort of peters out. If you look at my Serendi, for example, she doesn't have anything particularly amazing. That's like, I'm mixing in attack mastery. Then she's got a ring here. She's got a mace equipped. I've got a fairly good mix on what she has. This is the HP defense for the set, and this is the attack crit rate for the set. But when we look at her, I've got 57.93 hit rate. So, like, some characters just have naturally better hit rates, which you'd have to look up on their bases on a spreadsheet online. They have that on some of the forums. If you don't already know that, but it's really easy to stack certain things like this. Also with potentials, you can get crit rate, hit rate, whatever. I find that crit rate and hit rate are the most beneficial potentials you can really get. I think they're a lot better than the attack. Like some people, you'll see their screen is just attack, unless they're lucky enough to roll the pink immunities to stun or charm immunity. Which are obviously way better. But like I find that the hit rate and the crit rate are the ones that are going to benefit you the most because they have such a huge impact for what it is. Let's just look at the crit rate. I've got a crit rate of 41% on my Serendi. But that's with a good mix of gear. Now, some characters are going to require bigger investments and things like that, but it's going to be subject to whoever you're using. Now, back to what I was saying about potentials. There's some golden potentials that you want to be going for. The first thing is on weapons. You want to have the percentage attack and the percentage damage increase. It might not be that much in the beginning. In the very beginning of the game, it might seem more beneficial to have plus 80 attack. When you're all 1-star guys, it might seem a lot better to just have a flat rate of attack, because 1.6 or 0.9% of attack extra is going to give you like 12 attack. That's nothing. But when you have 20,000 attack, 1% more attack is 2,000 attack. It is a huge amount. And stacking these certain potentials is what's going to make you break free from the 10, 12, 13, 14,000 range to the 20, 22, 24, 26,000 range. Or if you're completely insane, the 30,000 range. I think that Spirits Unknown has a flat attack of over 30,000. It's pretty insane. But these are the things you're going to go for. Now, the gear that you're going to equip, depending on how much money you're going to spend, is going to be subjective. If you're going to be spending a lot of money, then you'll probably be getting a ton of extra gear that you're going to be disassembling. And you'll get a lot of potions, and you can re-roll potentials all day long. If you're not, you're going to be spending your money scarcely. Then you're going to want to look for some specific pieces. So I'm going to go down to some of my weaker characters. Like this, I have this ring right here. I kept this ring because if I'm going to raise another 2-star item, crit rate and hit rate are like rings are one of my favorite pieces. Because crit rate and hit rate both scale so well, you get very good returns from crit rate and hit rate. But this has two very good potentials. Plus 4% crit rate and increased attack by 1.2% of HP. Now, on accessories, increased attack by a percentage of HP is the most valuable stat that you can get of a potential anywhere in the game. Because your HP is the only stat that's going to be going through the roof, close to the, depending on who you are and how good you've built things, you might be able to have 60, 70, 80,000 health on your characters. If it's a tank, it's not surprising if you have 70 to 100,000 health on your character, especially if you have a few pieces of set gear that really benefit tanks. But these potentials are going to be what allows you to stack a huge amount of attack. We just talked about how much attack 1% would be of like a 20,000 attack. And I said 2,000. I was doing bad math in my head. That was 10%. But increasing attack by 1% of HP, and let's just let me pick another character who I use as a main. You know what? This would be unfair to use Bearman. He's got over 90,000 health. All right, let's go with Kai. All right, so I have increased attack by 1.1% of HP on this particular piece, and Kai has 73,000 HP. So that 1% increase, I believe, would be 730 attack at 1%, almost 740 attack. And that's just from that one potential. Now, to put that in perspective, that's coming off a 2-star piece of gear, and my 2-star weapon gives me that same amount of attack. Now, after you've done all these other things and you've got your attack, I don't know how it calculates these things. I don't know if it adds the HP attack increase, for example, because your attack increasing by a set of your percent of your HP is based off your HP stat. It might calculate before it increases the percent attack of a weapon. I'm not 100% sure on how it actually works or the order of which they do the math, but it'd be kind of interesting to find out if somebody's done the research on this at all. I think it'd be very helpful to the community. But if you can keep stacking these different effects, you can really basically deck your characters out. So the potentials you're going to be looking for are on weapons, increase attack, and damage. I'd also argue crit rate and hit rate are really good to get. But increasing your attack by percent and your damage by percent are the most sought after. Those are what you're going to be looking for the absolute most. Hit rates by percent and crit rate by percent isn't that huge because it's better to have the flat rate most of the time, because the flat rates are usually really small and the totals for the characters are usually very small. The percentages are not very high. Then on your pieces of gear, in a perfect world, I think that everybody has increased HP by flat percent, recover HP by flat percent, increase defense by flat percent, and increase dodge by a flat rate instead of a flat percent. I think those are the best 4 that you can get on a piece of armor. And I also feel that the increased HP and the increased defense on the chest piece is the best value of a piece of equipment. And what's going to happen when you have your potentials for your equipment in synergy, it's really going to reflect in a very large way on your equipment. So we have all these things that are increasing your health, and then we are by huge percentages, which is great because it scales with all of your armor, all of your sets, not just from your single line for your 1 stars, for your 2 stars, for your 3 stars, but it's going to take the accumulation of everything together. And then it's going to turn this huge buff that you have into HP, and it's going to throw that onto your attack, and you're going to be benefiting from having the high defense and things like that from the other ones. But the most important one, if you can just get plus like a decent, orange or even a few blue ones, like don't think that if a piece has a blue increase health by percent, it's not worth leveling up. If you might not find any pieces that get these things, but these are the potentials that you need to look for, and these are the pieces of gear that you need to raise because they're going to be the most impactful if you can get this golden synergy here with the increasing the HP. Now you might notice that this piece of this accessory has increased health by 1.7% HP. I believe that's unique to 1 star. It doesn't appear on 2, 3, and 4 star. Now what's nice about the 5-star gear is they have an increased attack right here. So increase attack by 8%. Now, it might be more beneficial by this point in time to increase your attack by the HP percent, but what's notable is that you can have both. So it's possible to get the attack percent increase and the increase by attack by percent of HP. Now, depending on the character, this is on carrot, so the increased attack is probably better than the increased attack by HP. But for the most part, it's going to be better to increase your attack by the percent of the HP because they're usually going to have, like, your attack is usually going to be, if you do have this great decked out arrangement of your potentials, your health is, like, for example, is going to be, I'm going to take from the top 10 players here stats, but their HPs are usually in the high 50s to the mid 70s for their characters in terms of HP. A lot of people floating in the 60,000 range for health, but their attacks are usually in the 20-25,000. So it's generally almost 1 to 3 ratio. So increased attack by percentage of HP, transferring that to attack, let's go by 2.5 times. So you would benefit from the attack. Let's say 2, 4, 6, 7.2%. So it would be, in this case, higher than the attack. Now, I know my carrot's HP is not that high. She's one of the squishier characters in the game. I think my attack is actually more than half my HP, so this attack increase gives me more than the attack by the HP in just this one occasion, which is why I have this piece of equipment on my carrot. But you're going to be wanting to aim for these golden potentials. For some reason, I just kept getting boots when I was opening gear for myself in 5 stars. All the good potentials were always on shoes and very rarely on other things. And sometimes I got, like, this is a great piece right here: 10% dodge, 8% HP, 15.6% of defense, and extra flat defense. I got some pretty lucky ones. A pink HP potential here that, like, I've got some pretty lucky pieces. But for the most part, all my luck has been on the boots, which stinks because I'm not a big fan of dodge twinks. But I usually go for the ones that give me the highest flat potential percent to increased HP percent, because I'm looking mostly to maximize my HP, which is in turn going to max my health. Anyway, I'm going to cut this video off right here, and I'm going to maybe put up another one, a part 3, and we're going to go into it a little bit more and more arranging to or catering to each type of character that you might be using.